Niall, it's probably a good idea if you introduce yourself and tell me what your role is.
Niall Mulvenna, I'm the British Universities representative, so look after the running of the games over in Britain. We sort of cover universities in Scotland, northwest of England, northern England, Midlands and southeast. So we have a team now in from London for the first time in a good few years. So we run those sort of competitions most weekends, so anything up to 16 games we would have sort of across Britain at any weekend.
And talk to me then about the connection with the weekend in February and how it all fits in for you guys.
So from the higher education we get an invite for a British representative, and then from that we would have run our own sort of qualifiers. So we'll have qualifiers in Glasgow at the end of January. We sort of invite the top 4 teams from around Britain. So this year there'll be 2 from the northwest, 1 representing Scotland and 1 representing the Midlands.
And in the last few years, the teams from abroad have made a big impact. We've in New York, of course, playing Liverpool as well, and teams from there as well. They really add something to the whole weekend, and I'm sure you get an awful lot out of it as well. So what sort of a carrot exactly is it for you guys?
It is that sort of incentive, like it is probably part of the elite sort of pathway for players. It's a good opportunity for our students to be involved in games in Ireland. We obviously have players from Ireland coming over to play in universities, but there's a lot of we're starting to see a lot of homegrown players coming through now. It's probably a result of sort of the good work done at underage level within the clubs and within the counties, and our competitions such as the Northern Games in Manchester and the ABCs in London. So we're starting to see the fruition of that now with the students coming through at university level.
That's interesting because that's what New York have done. There's a lot of, if not all, are homegrown there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Certainly it's the major push. Like obviously in the past it's always been sort of the Irish players coming over to represent the universities, but now we're sort of seeing that starting to balance out now with the homegrown players, and even in some of the county teams in Britain and stuff, you're starting to see sort of the majority of them being homegrown players rather than expats.
And how competitive is it among the colleges to get to this weekend, to get the trip to Ireland?
Yeah, this is the sort of the golden nugget for them all. Drums up major interest around Britain. They're all sort of vying for position to get the invite to the qualifier weekend. We sort of take the results from the league fixtures before Christmas and sort of base that on what teams would be invited then to the weekend in Glasgow.
There's been quite a few successes down the years as well. I mean, I remember, was it Liverpool did really well, one of the Liverpool teams when it was held in Santry a few years ago. I mean, there have been some notable successes.
Yeah, certainly New York have won it the last 2 years. Previous to that, Liverpool John Moores won it 2 years in a row. And I think a few years before that, Liverpool Hope University won it. So there certainly has been success from a Britain level.
And is it important as a pathway, do you think, for you guys when you sell it?
Yeah, certainly. It sort of gives that sort of elite pathway for our players, that there is incentive there. There's obviously a lot of clubs will see a lot of drop off in players and stuff at underage moving into adult, so it sort of gives us that sort of bridge between underage and moving into adult football.
And is there almost now a little bit of rivalry with New York and the teams that you have as well now, and maybe looking for a bit of revenge for the last couple of years?
Yeah, certainly New York have been strong the last couple of years, so they've had the last 2 in a row. John Moores have had the 2 previous to that, so I'm sure the clubs in Britain will be doing their best to come out on the right side of the results.